MMA rants and raves. Should the UFC sign Kurt Angle? Now guys, before I get into this, I really want to bring up a point, and that point is about respect. And also a long time coming. And for what? Wrestling. Now, let me just get into it, and bear with me here. Let's look at all the mainstream sports. Let's look at baseball, football, right? Then we have basketball, and we have hockey. Now, those are the mainstream sports that are very big out there. They're highly publicized. They're on network TV. The athletes get paid loads of money, ridiculous amounts of money, which is just unheard of. And even the guys that don't even do anything. Even the guys that don't do anything, they sit on the bench and they never may even play a game. They get paid millions of dollars. So the point is, if you have an aspiring athlete, let's start it out with that. An aspiring athlete. Somebody who's in high school, moves on to college, and they happen to have talent. Not the greatest talent in the world, but good talent. You know, they can kick a 50-yard field goal, or they know how to read a defense and have a decent arm and are cerebral in a position to play a quarterback. Or let's say they have the ability to hit an 80-mile-per-hour fastball. Or they can even be a decent pitcher. You know, they have a good arm. Or they have some speed to be a pitch runner. Guys like this have a chance to look forward to a professional career because of their talents. These are aspiring athletes which have a specific talent that they can exploit to make money and look forward to a career doing it. Just like anybody else. If somebody has the ability to be a doctor, or you could be an aircraft engineer, you just happen to like doing it, you have the abilities to do it, so you can have a career doing it. So people have talents athletically, and they know how to use these talents to perform and compete. They can make money. But let's look at another specific talent, a talent called wrestling. Wrestling requires a lot of talent. You know, I happen to know wrestlers, and you have to be able to take your opponent down, control them, pass their guard. And then, of course, it becomes a combat situation, so you have to combine that within the talent itself in case you're going to implicate it into a combat sport. Now, for wrestlers, what do they have to look forward to? You know, I just mentioned baseball, football, basketball, hockey. They have professional leagues to look forward to play in. But wrestlers don't have that. There's nowhere to go for a wrestler. An aspiring wrestler, somebody who's even very good, will not be able to make it anywhere and won't get a job unless they're Olympic caliber, which is extremely good. So there's nowhere for them to go. And that's what's great about mixed martial arts today, and that's what's great about mixed martial arts becoming a sport and mixed martial arts getting into the mainstream. Because what you have here is you have a chance for people like wrestlers who are very talented to have a place to go, to have a career to look forward to where they can actually make a living. And the proof is in the pudding, guys. You know, just look at mixed martial arts today. Look what wrestlers have done. People that just have wrestling talent, that's it. It's their base. I mean, you know, I said it in my other vlog. You know, look what King Mo just did against Masasi, who's an unbelievable fighter. I mean, hardly anybody was giving him a chance to win that fight. Look what happened. He used his wrestling ability, his world-class wrestling ability. 3 of the title holders in the UFC, all wrestlers. So look what they're doing now. These people are taking their talents as wrestlers and they're running with it. They're able to use their talents to get into a professional career thanks to mixed martial arts being a sport. So I think it's great that this has become a sport. And that's why I'm so behind it getting sanctioned. That's why I did a rant why it's not being sanctioned in New York, because that's the ultimate goal. If it gets sanctioned in New York, wow, then there's really no stopping it. It's going to be like a freight train going at top speed. It's just going to spread and just get bigger and bigger, and it's going to be great. Now, the reason I'm talking about this, of course, because we're talking about Kurt Angle. Now, Kurt Angle, of course, you know, he's in the WWE, and that's just entertainment, where you could basically showcase some of your skills just to show off to people, and of course you have to have the mic skills and all that other stuff. You know, I'm not really following that stuff, but I know what it's about. Now, you think about it, the guy is an Olympic gold medalist. I mean, there are probably people in the WWE that are not really wrestlers. They're just very good as far as, showing off and entertaining, and it's great. A lot of people like that stuff, and I respect that. But the point is, this guy is a genuine, real wrestler. I mean, he's an Olympic gold medalist. I don't know if there's any other wrestlers that are Olympic gold medalists that I know of. There probably are a few, and of course they went to the WWE because they pay their guys very well over there. But if this guy is an Olympic gold medalist and he wants to come into MMA, why not? Let's look at Brock Lesnar, for example. He's an NCAA former champion. He has like a huge winning record, like 106 wins, something like that. So, he's really good at what he does. I mean, you can see what he does in the octagon, but he's not an Olympic gold medalist. I mean, even Randy the Natural Couture, I can't speak highly enough of his abilities in the octagon and what a legend he is. I don't even think he's a gold medalist. This guy is an Olympic gold medalist. Now, I understand, of course, the guy is not in his prime. He's about 41 years old. So, that's an issue. I'm not going to deny that and be delusional about that or ignorant. He's 41. But I seen the guy, looks like he's in really good shape, and he really wants to get into mixed martial arts. And I can tell he does because, let's face it, guys, he's a very wealthy man. The WWE pays their guys very well, and this guy was a big, popular guy there. He was a big star there, so he was being paid very well. He's been in that organization forever. And then he went to TNA. They're probably paying him a lot of money. He's sponsoring some, or he owns some nutritional company. I'm not sure what's going on with that. So he's probably making money there. He's a businessman. He's a bright guy. And getting back to the question, should they sign him? I think they should. And for many reasons. I'm going to go a few of them right now. First of all, they signed James Toney. Now, I'm not saying two wrongs make a right. Whether you like the James Toney signing or not, the bottom line is, James Toney is 41 years old too. Now, if you look at these two guys, who do you think offers mixed martial arts more? A boxer or somebody who has a wrestling base, an Olympic gold medalist wrestling base, which to me is more important than mixed martial arts. I personally see wrestling as something more to offer in mixed martial arts. And then if you look at the two fighters, it seems like Angle's in better shape. He's also been punched a lot less. I mean, he hasn't really had to get involved in combat when he was in the WWE. I mean, I heard he had an injury, a broken neck, which is really serious, so I don't know what the status of that is, if he's healed or whatever it is, but obviously he didn't have to go through a rigorous career like Tony did. No all due respect to Tony. I mean, despite the fact that he's older now and the twilight of his career, he still has very dangerous hands, so he's very good at what he does. Of course, it'll be interesting to see him fight, but if he's in there, I definitely think Angle should be there too. He's got this deal with TNA, but if he really wants to be in the UFC because they won't let him wrestle or something like that, I mean, he doesn't have to keep that deal, or this is something he really wants to do. Now, as far as the UFC doing it, I think they should sign him. And here's another reason. It's going to be good for the sport. I mean, just think about all the wrestling fans that are going to follow Angle. I mean, this guy is a big popular guy, a star over there, so there's going to be a lot of fans following him. It'll be good for the sport, people getting into MMA. And then if you think about it, if you really want to be technical about it, how will he fight? Which weight class will he be in? Probably light heavyweight. I don't think he's big. I don't think he's big enough to be in the heavyweight division, especially with the monsters that are there now. The heavyweight division now is more like the super heavyweight division. This guy, he's a smaller athlete, but I think light heavyweight, and here's a reason why. If you think about it, you look at light heavyweight, there's not that many great wrestlers there. I mean, one that comes to mind is Randy Couture, of course, since he dropped down. Coleman is not there anymore. I mean, I don't think Coleman is coming back. So, if you think about it, they could use an Olympic world-class wrestler. How effective he is now at this point in his career, I don't know, but it should be interesting. And what do they got to lose? I mean, they can sign this guy to a 1 or 2 fight deal, see what happens. But I think it should be interesting. I think they should sign him, and would like to see what happens. That's all. I mean, for all the reasons that I mentioned, I think it's a good idea, it's a good move, and I think it's great for the sport to promote an Olympic gold medalist for other wrestlers, other aspiring wrestlers to see, you know what, I might have a career, and I might be able to showcase my skills, and be competitive. I don't have to look forward to WWE to be an entertainer. I can look forward to be a competitor and compete and test my strengths and my talents within wrestling. Wrestling is a great mixed martial arts technique. It's just as good as boxing or anything else. Just as good as if you're a baseball player or a football player. These guys are talented athletes, and they have a right to showcase their skills. So it's a good move in the right direction. That's the way I see it, guys. Would like to know what you think about it. Would like to know what you think about wrestling as a talent in general. Please leave your comments. Please rate this video. Please subscribe. And thank you for tuning in.